Today,
we're sick.
We can't start it that way.
But we're feeling better though. Kinda.
While we were sick and rotting on the couch, Kara looked over at me at one point and she said, "You won't build something?"
So I guess we're gonna now show you what we built while we both had a fever.
We're gonna be just as surprised as you guys.
So surprised.
But you know what isn't surprising?
What?
Just how easy it is to set up the website of your dreams with today's sponsor, Squarespace.
Nice transition.
Whether it's creating a custom website for your business, building a unique portfolio, or I don't know.
I found a website for the best whale in the world, #1wilbertfields.com.
Maybe a little specific, but Squarespace can help with that.
It has a ton of pre-built layouts and templates. It makes it easier than ever to make the website that you are looking for.
And they're super easy to change up too.
Like say if your whale creates his own water park and then needs to advertise it.
I don't think this is as universal as you think it is.
I think it is.
We also love the analytics feature as well, especially seeing where our boy has the most fans.
Congrats to California for taking the lead.
No way!
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Texas and New York, you're right on their heels.
So if you're looking to make a website, be sure to check out Squarespace today for a free trial.
And whenever you're ready to make your site go live, go to squarespace.com/CarynandConnie to get 10% off your purchase of your first website or domain.
That link is in our description, as always.
Again, big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video.
So the idea for this build actually came from me scrolling on Instagram and I saw a picture of this little lighthouse and I just knew we were gonna have to build it.
Even though we had no clue it was in there. Oh, come on, the idea of a tiny converted abandoned lighthouse, like that's too cute to resist.
Even if we were so sick and hadn't moved or cared about anything in days.
I mean, that's only natural for us to want to go to the sea then.
Are you making a Victorian woman joke?
The breeze will do good for our disposition. Joe, take me to the beach.
Don't make me laugh. So yeah, I went ahead and I recorded us building this, but I did not record our faces because
nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, actually this is for all of your own good.
Yeah, you don't get to see zombie Karen and Connie. You're welcome.
This part of the build, we actually had a tough time figuring out how to make the top part of the lighthouse. What do you call that?
The lightery?
Yeah, the lightery.
Our first mistake was making the center part a circle.
We actually couldn't end up putting a room and a fence together on that same platform.
And then I thought maybe there was something in roof sculptures that could have like an opening where we could put a light or something.
But everything we kept trying just looked way too shoved together. Like we were just forcing it. It wasn't anything like I was imagining.
Not gonna lie, this was the part where I thought, okay, let Karen finish the build. I'm gonna go finish Arcane.
You are not finishing Arcane without me. That's a threat. But then we ended up going with this piece from Horse Ranch, and it's kind of great because it's got windows on every side, so you can kind of imagine that there's like an old broken down light in there from whenever this place was abandoned however many years ago.
Honestly, I feel like going with this piece like was such a game changer because it came in that perfect kind of like weathered whitewashed wood shade that totally inspired the rest of the build.
Yeah,
like
set the tone.
Yeah, we knew that we could use this pack going forward and everything would match like super well.
And then we decided to add some more curves to the porch
because we're monsters.
I mean, once you add one curve into a build, you might as well add a few more.
What is that logic?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like what they say about cats. Like if you have one, you might as well have three because it's like basically the same thing.
That is not a saying. You just want more cats.
No, I'm pretty sure I've heard it somewhere.
I know we didn't record it, so I'll give you a reenactment of what happened during the roof. Hey, Con, does this roof look good? Wow, that looks perfect. Don't change anything. Changes something. Oh, that looks good too. Changes something again. Oh, yeah, that also looks good. End scene.
Wow, you really missed a lot. It actually was nice on this one because I had a reference image, so I had a little something to go off of. Not that you don't give anything.
I said it looks good.
As you can see here, I was really trying to get in that blue door just like the reference image.
Uh-huh.
I swear.
Uh-huh.
I really tried.
Okay, we went with the green, but like it's a sea glass color, so I still think that that fits like the theme.
Yeah, and we get the blue in the flower boxes later on and also in bits inside.
Yeah.
So
you tell him, Care.
So yeah.
There's blue.
There's a lot of windows in this build.
Surprise, surprise. Wonder who picked it.
Me. I like the combo of those like big modern looking windows that were probably done like when they renovated the place, and then the old paned windows that are probably from the original, but the real standout is
it's obviously the individual shutters from Horse Ranch.
I can't believe we actually got that item. That was like a dream item for us for so long.
1,000,000%. Yeah, that and like spiral staircases.
I know, we're actually never satisfied. As soon as we get the thing we want, we just want the next thing. Well, imagine in this big circle building, we had a giant spiral staircase that ran up it. That actually would have been so helpful though, because we actually ran into that problem here. When you have a completely round, small room, you can't put a ladder up from the floor below to get into that level.
So weird.
Which means we had to create some weird sort of outside access, which you see us try to figure out right now.
Well, I thought that we could just put a fence across the back of it, but turns out when you do a fence like this, you can't put it into the roof.
How silly of you to think that you could do that. So many Sims glitches in such a short amount of time.
That's why we ended up doing those half walls that you see instead.
Then we could just add a ladder on the back and that worked out great.
Hold up.
What?
I gotta sneeze.
No.
No, I have to.
No, don't.
Go on without me.
I can't. I won't.
I'm back.
Oh, you made it. How you feeling?
It's almost like she can hear my voice right now.
Now you got me going.
Oh my gosh, stop. I'm so tired of sneezing. I'm so tired of coughing.
I'm just so tired.
But we are feeling better.
And then at some point we decided that this was going to be a cafe.
Some point, excuse me, you literally the whole time were going, I wonder what's gonna go in there. And I kept being like, it's gonna be a cafe. And then finally at some point you said, hey, should we do like a cafe? I said we should do a cafe.
I don't remember any of that. What a good idea I came up with.
It is kind of nice because all these tables are going to have such a good view of Whalebert's world.
That's right. Actually, we are in Brindleton Bay in the lot right next to Whalebert's world. So it actually kind of works really nicely because if you remember back in that build, we had kind of a lighthouse theme.
This fits perfectly with that. Like, you can make this a whole day trip. You go to the park, you spend some time in the sun, you swim a bunch, and then you just need to grab like a little bite to eat. So you go on down to the Lighthouse Cafe, you sit outside.
Okay, you are painting a picture and I am all for it. Sign me up. I love how much we're like adding to the Whalebert lore now. Now he's got his own cafe and a water park.
You think he owns this place too?
He'll own everything in the end.
He's such a CEO.
And then just for planting, I went super basic easy. I went to the debug of cats and dogs and I just tried to blend it in with the world around it. So I just used all the bushes and the trees that you see in the surrounding landscape.
That's like a really easy hack whenever you're doing stuff like this. Like, just look around you.
The tip? Look around. Notice things.
And add a little cafe sign. Every time you add a little cafe sign, it makes the build like 10,000% cuter.
I thought you were going to say flower boxes.
Well, obviously. That makes it like 1,000,000% cuter.
Oh, a whole million.
All right. You know what? I am underselling it. At least 1 billion. The cuteness scale is off the chart.
And with that last little bit of planting, I think we're finally done with the outside and can head inside.
Woo, cafe time! But when we went inside, we immediately did have a problem because there's this weird like bump out in the back. The back was looking too flat. We had to do something. Not naming names of who added that bump out, but it did kind of work out in our favor because when we went and we looked at the lot requirements, we needed a bathroom and we were able to squeeze 2 back there.
So you're welcome.
I thought we weren't naming names.
I didn't say anything. Speaking of requirements, for cafe lots, you also have to have an espresso bar.
Ooh, espresso. Short and sweet.
This one's kind of long and sort of awkward.
That does not make as good an album title. And here's where we put a bunch of tables in and immediately take them out.
We kept thinking it was way bigger in here than it actually was.
It is just not as big as we think it is, but big enough for bar seating, which I feel is more beach anyway.
This cafe's job is beach.
And it's doing such a good job at it.
Be for real though. Would you ever actually want to own a cafe?
Never.
No?
Yeah, there's a list of jobs that I would never do, and owning any type of restaurant is at the very top. Thank you, Kitchen Nightmares. I've seen quite a lot of it.
Now, if it had been called Kitchen Dreams, would you have been more interested?
Now, Gordon Ramsay, that's a free idea. No, it's not free. Actually, 10%.
So for this build, we decided to work from the outside in, I guess, and it turned out that the middle was looking really blank.
Then we get stuck on chalkboards. Who knew we had this many chalkboards in game?
And of course, we had to check through every single one.
How do you know it's the right one until you've checked through every single one of them with every single swatch in each one of them?
And then you go back just to double check that the one that you actually liked is still the one you liked, and then you're done.
And that's how you turn a tiny little build into over 6 hours.
6 hours of fun.
Oh, and then we remembered we could totally use nautical stuff.
This opened up a whole new world to us, like ships and wheels and lanterns.
Oh my.
and parrots.
I don't think we have any of those in game.
Do we not
actually.
fit that in? I knew we had forgotten something.
And look at all the blue in that rug.
Wow, this build is exceptionally blue.
So blue. Then it was curtain time. We wanted to do like short ones on the front window, so we did try the flower ones.
We always try the flower one.
And we did not use them.
But one of these days.
Surely.
Then for the big set of windows over here, we wanted to do something a little bit different, so we thought about going long. But everything we kept trying just looked wrong.
We want something that covers but doesn't cover.
Which is surprisingly hard to find with a curtain.
I just want my curtain and my window too. I want both. Is that so hard?
So our solution was we went with a swoopy curtain. And this is that one from Growing Together, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do love those little pom-poms.
They are very cute. Unfortunately, their curtain rod does not extend all the way across, which is annoying. But we can solve it with one of the best things they've ever given us in the game. That's right. It's the Desert Luxe curtain mount.
Yes. This is to extend the Desert Luxe curtain specifically, but we use it for every curtain.
That's because it works.
You can't fight it. You can also use them as like little shelves too. They're like half the width of an actual shelf. So they're perfect for things like bathrooms or like little pantries or something.
Yeah.
They're just really versatile. I love this item.
And now it's the most wonderful time of the build. That's right. It's clutter time.
All clutter, build, win.
What would all clutter mean? Like, would there be walls?
No, just every room is clutter. But honestly, for us, clutter time just means how many plants can we fit on every open surface.
I'm glad we're talking about plants because I have a beef.
Ooh, with plants?
Yes. This fiddle leaf fig that we put in this build.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That's it.
No. It also, when you place it down, throws a giant shadow onto the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Why does it do that? Is it supposed to be like an outdoor plant? It's definitely not.
Maybe it just means there's 12 more weeks of winter.
Never let your fiddle leaf fig look at its shadow.
I'm always hoping that groundhog sees a short winter. I don't like the cold.
Yep. Your girls are summer girlies.
I just hate that the sun goes to bed at 4:30. If the sun's going to bed at 4:30, I should get to go to bed at 4:30.
Yeah.
I am just so pleased with how everything fits into these tiny little bathrooms.
That's the hardest part about bathrooms is figuring out the layout. Not only does it have to look good, but it has to also be functional.
Sims functional.
Which is a huge difference.
Normally, you could just have a sink and a toilet opposite each other. No problem.
Not in The Sims.
If those arrows collide, you will not
survive.
Okay, it's not that intense, but it definitely won't work.
Your Sims are just gonna go,
but at least your Sims aren't gonna wash their dishes in the bathroom sink anymore.
Oh, that's right. In case you missed it, they actually added a new feature into base game where you can click onto sinks and assign them.
Now if we could just get them to all sit down together at a table for a meal.
No, I think that's actually really realistic. I can't just sit down at a table to eat. I gotta be watching something.
And you are so right for that.
We couldn't use the towel dispenser on the wall because it was far too big. So we needed to put something onto the countertops. This is one of our favorite things to do in builds. If you just take the towels and size them down using the left bracket key, then they look like washcloths and you can place them on all of your counters. Cats and dogs actually have some sick as heck nautical art though. We had a hard time choosing.
But actually there's just a lighthouse picture. So
yeah, we just picked the lighthouse.
It's actually quite easy.
We did hit a bit of a snag when we got to the top floor. I had big dreams for up here. I was gonna get a bed, a dresser, a desk, maybe a little kitchenette.
We thought we were gonna fit a whole apartment up here.
We didn't get any of that.
Well, we did get a desk. We ended up going with, instead of the whole apartment idea, more of a back of house office type thing for the cafe.
This is where business happens.
Up in the crow's nest.
That typewriter computer hates to see us come in.
We should make a list sometime of all of our most used items across all our builds.
String lights.
Yeah, there's gonna be a heavy lean on the string lights. The real issue with this space, besides it being so small, is it's actually so tall. We went with tall wall height because we wanted to have the fancy little edge around the outside.
Worth it.
Until maybe we got in here. Because everything was just looking teeny tiny and just like so on the floor. We needed to like add some height somehow.
But nothing too big
because this space is just so small.
So of course we went hanging plant.
Now that actually might be one of our most used items.
Oh, totally. But then we had a better plan. Normally, bookcases go from the ground up. but what if we had them just be up?
We promise this makes sense.
We ran a shelf around the entire circle.
And then we proceeded to load that thing up with as many books as possible, which was harder than you think.
Even though shelves usually have slots, they were not working for where we wanted to put these books. So we had to go and grab the base game T.O.O.L shelf. Basically, anything slots to that. So if you put it at the height of where you're wanting to put your objects, you can add your objects to the top, slide them off, and then put them at the exact height that you want them. So you don't get that weird floating thing.
If you had to ballpark how many books this is, what would you think?
500.
Wait, that was just like such an exact number right away.
You told me to ballpark. I swung.
Someone tell her if she's right. I have to know now.
You think you've read more books than that?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I probably should have said this year.
Con and I actually end up reading about 100 books a year, give or take.
We're readers.
Is that a crime?
If so, guilty as charged.
Lock us up.
With a book, please.
Unfortunately, your girls are in a bit of a book slump this year.
My gosh, we really are.
Just not had a single banger.
Ooh, can you guys give us recommendations?
Yes, please, yes. I want your favorite book ever.
Yeah, all time.
None of those second favorite books.
Yeah, I wanted to change my life.
Is that too much to ask?
Man, I am so glad that they gave us more swatches on this set of books. It makes it so easy to like mix and match, so it doesn't look like you have the same set of books going throughout the entire thing. You could just switch each swatch every single one, and now you have tons of different books on your shelf, but with one item.
Ooh, I love this ladder.
This ladder may be something that you guys have never seen before. It's actually in Cats and Dogs Debug, and the picture is really weird. It just looks like two little antennas sticking up out of the ground, but when you pull it up with the 9 key, then there's a whole ladder there.
And we're about done with the build section here, but don't worry, we are about to bring you guys in game with us real time so that you can see the build without it being all sped up.
Welcome to the Lighthouse Cafe.
You guys have probably already come up with a way better name by now.
I'm gonna be so for real right now. I never thought this was going to end up being a video. You pressed record and I said, that's really funny. We're never going to see this ever again. But I am so glad that you did because I think it turned out so stinking cute.
I'm sorry. It's just adorable. Look at these little reeds we added. When did we do that?
Maybe we should always build with a fever.
I'd call this a fever dream.
I love doing unconventional builds. Or maybe just sticking cafes into unconventional builds.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of time for us to get back to transportation.
I've had some ideas about that.
I'd be disappointed if you hadn't.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Also, thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring. If you guys are looking for a website or domain, we really think you should check them out. You can use our code CarynandConnie for 10% off of your first website or domain.
Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And also, everyone wave bye to Whalebert.
Bye, Whalebert.
What are you doing?
Let's have a fin. That's how whales say goodbye.
Bye, y'all.